you for getting together and standing up. I have seen so many people across 7 counties in various aspects. Some are completely defeated by the establishment. Some are in open rebellion against the establishment. Some have won, but are getting their butts kicked because they won and they didn't see the second phase coming, which is scorched earth. In various counties across the 7th district, which there are 7, it is in various phases of people waking up and saying, something's not right. In our case here, it was parents who are primary stakeholders. And that's how we could attack it, because you guys were very active in your school system. But whatever you have done has gone completely across the state and across the area, just simply because you said, this is what we need to do here. So don't think that one person can't change the world. Don't think that your small, tiny community right here can't change the world. It already has. And you're just getting started. When did we start these things? About a year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that?
It was a year ago, September.
1 month.
So one year and 1 month.
Yep.
Just look what has happened in that short period of time. Sure, we may get our butts kicked on a lot of different efforts, but you guys ultimately did one. We got it in Republic first, great. That was just slipped in under the radar until they realized, oh, we can't have this. And then you got it anyway. Thanks for stealing our good superintendent, by the way. But whatever it takes. The point is if we move this guy from place to place, we'll get it across the state, or maybe he's a state superintendent person.
She's presenting it in Oroville on next Monday, a week from today. Deb is the policy,
So that's exactly what this takes. Because if we don't have, that's the primary thing on my entire campaign. You got somebody to run off of your idea throughout the entire district. That is my number one thing in the entire campaign. Parents are primary stakeholders. You want to know how many people that pisses off? Like the whole establishment.
Yay.
On both sides, yeah.
Wow.
And that's what I've discovered throughout this whole process actually is the problem. Not Republicans, not Democrats, who may be a little bit misguided, but it's the establishment. Because the establishment in the Democratic side doesn't want to represent the Democrats. The establishment on the Republican side doesn't want to represent the Republicans. They want your votes, but they don't want to represent you. They'll talk about it every 4th of July and every voting season. But when it comes time to, when you're finally standing up and saying, hey, I'm a parent and I want to raise my kid my own way. Well, we can't have that. We finally recognized that we had a problem. Now, a lot of us throughout COVID and everything else, we just went through our lives. We lived our lives until all of a sudden there was a big problem and we recognized the government's doing some really crazy, wonky stuff. Maybe we woke up when Trump started pointing the light on some of these things. Either way, the point is over the past 4 or 5 years, most of us have woken up to what's going on. And now we're starting to push back, and it's a small percentage of us. But at least it's not zero, which is what it was for a long time. And we're starting to get involved in our government. We're starting to say, hey, this is the things that we want. This is what our founding fathers gave us, this institution where we can assemble, freedom of assembly, First Amendment. Most powerful amendment we have is to get together. And now you guys can see the fruits of what that is. All you did is get together and say we want to be parents. And that's common sense. That's why the number 2 thing on my list is to make sure that education dollars follows the student. Why do we assign $18,000 to a building? Why don't we assign it to the student? And wherever that student goes, the money goes. We would fix all of these problems because we would make competition in schools.
Yes.
If that $18,000 went to Joe's Body Shop because he had an education thing on the side and he provided a world-class education, all of a sudden you'd have a bunch of kids who could fix cars really good and do some good math. And maybe that works for a bunch of people around here because my kid likes cars. And what about the welder who can provide these sort of education? We can go so much further in so many different directions by thinking outside of the box and splitting some of that money into different places that educate our children. As parents, we know what's best for our own children. But yet the government says, give us your children because we're stakeholders too, and we'll decide what's best for them. And now that we're starting to wake up and putting the primary thing in our lives, raising our children, number 1, all of a sudden, we're getting pushback. And at first, it was impossible. I mean, think about the Tonasket School District, what you guys went through. How many people got trespassed? How many people, I mean, just because you were showing up, they got angry. How dare you come in here and tell us how to run our school? Well, it is your school. And you should be able to take that money for your student and go to private school or homeschool. I know a lot of moms who would love to stay home because they got 2, 3 kids, and they could use that $18,000 a year to provide a world-class education. They could go to museums, they could have the best books, they could have lab kits, they could have everything that they need to educate that child. And I'm pretty sure those parents wouldn't be invested in all the woke ideology and the sex education things and things that our children are learning now. They would know how to read, they would know how to write, they would know how to act. And the third and final thing that I've been working on the campaign, just what we've been talking about, raising our own food. There's no reason in the world, in the 7th district, that anyone should ever go hungry. There's over 1 million acres of just grain, corn, wheat, the things that people need. And then you throw on top of that all the cows, chickens, pigs. I got a few of those. There's no reason that anybody should go hungry. Everybody should have a victory garden. Everyone should grow a head of lettuce if they can, a tomato if they can, nuts, herbs, whatever. Every head of lettuce that we grow or every chicken that hatches an egg is one less egg that we have to truck in. In this area alone, there's no reason why we should ever give our power away to the governor by declaring an emergency because we're hungry. There just shouldn't be. But what it takes is leadership, and that doesn't take somebody to get elected. Even if I don't get elected, I'm still going to be talking about the same things I have been for 2 years. Grow your own stuff, I'll teach you how to can, I'll teach you how to butcher a pig, and we'll bring our community together. This thing that we started is resonating throughout 7 counties right now. Everyone loves to hear about the stories about the town halls. How do I join? Start going. Just come together. But people are scared in the same way that you guys were when you first came together. What do we do? It doesn't matter. Pick something you're passionate about and work on it. And when you're successful, find another thing. But don't quit, because look at what you've done. You got me to run on the thing that you created. That's powerful. I know I'm just a pig farmer, but I'm standing for you. And you need more of me. My goal is to encourage as many of you to run for something. Because I'll tell you, you would do a far better job than any of the idiots that are currently there in most of the position. And I mean that with all respect to them who at least put their hat in the ring to run, because it sucks, it's hard. But by and by, most of these guys don't care about you and me. We have these ego issues, pride issues. They're not Christians. I mean, you don't have to be a Christian, but you can be a Muslim if you have a good, solid moral compass. You can be Hindu, it doesn't necessarily matter, but you have to have a moral compass that we, the people, can hold you up against. What do you stand for? And if you don't have anyone who's willing to even say what they stand for, then they stand for nothing. And you guys are standing for something. So please keep doing it, because you've changed the world in a year. So, campaign's great. I'm tired. I'm somewhere every new place. But this is resonating. And people want to know what's going on here, and they want to emulate it. So don't stop, because you guys are doing fantastic. And we have the latest pamphlet, so thanks.
All right, thank you.